Okay, so before we get into it, obviously you don't take government documents and do anything that you're not supposed to do, especially if it's illegal. That doesn't make any sense, right? You don't do any of that. That's not, none of that is like absolutely necessary. However, when we're watching this video, let's say this guy, is he doing it for the people? Are his reasons justified? He said that he wanted to do it in court. I'll let you take a look. I just want you to keep that in mind before we watch the video. Let's get into it.
We're following breaking news. The former IRS contractor who leaked former President Trump's tax records has just been sentenced to 5 years in prison. 38-year-old Charles Littlejohn pleaded guilty in October. That's him on the right alongside his lawyer. Littlejohn also leaked the tax returns of Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. NBC News Justice and Intelligence correspondent Ken Delanian joins us now. So, Ken, the judge had some strong words for Littlejohn during the sentencing. Take us inside what happened in the courtroom today.
Yeah, that's right, Sinclair. Judge Anna Reyes called Littlejohn's crime the biggest heist in IRS history and said he deserved the maximum sentence she could impose, in part because he targeted a sitting president and thousands of others. The judge compared Littlejohn to January 6th rioters, saying that he took the law into his own hands because he was convinced of his own righteousness. She called what he did an attack on our constitutional democracy. Now, the Justice Department said that Littlejohn went to great lengths to cover his tracks as he queried IRS databases and downloaded that confidential material, though prosecutors did not explain exactly how he was caught. For his part, Littlejohn explained himself by saying that he felt taxpayers deserved to know how easy it was for the wealthy to avoid paying. He said he fully expected to be caught, and he did apologize to the court, but he also made clear he believes he did something that he believes was in the public interest.
Yeah.
And Ken, it's not lost on me that it's 2024. We're in an election year. Former President Trump did face a lot of backlash in 2016 when he refused to release his tax returns. So what does the law say exactly about elected officials and the public's right to actually see their taxes?
Well, every president since Richard Nixon has voluntarily released his tax returns, but no law requires that disclosure. And as you said, Mr. Trump refused to release his, just as he refused to place his assets in a blind trust, as most other presidents have done in the past. There are bills pending in Congress that would require presidential candidates to release their tax returns, but so far, none of them has passed. The federal ethics law requires federal officials to file financial disclosures, which list their assets and liabilities in ranges. But it's much less information than you would find on a tax return.
So he said that he was trying to do it for the greater good of everybody and that he knew he was going to get caught, but he still tried to cover his tracks as well. Maybe it would be like a little bit less suspicious if he didn't try to cover his tracks. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Do you think he was doing it for, he was obviously doing it, like there's no gain. He's not selling the information. It didn't seem like they got that from like a deal set up or something where he was like undercover and then now he's in the IRS and then he's getting the Trump documents and selling them to the highest bidder. He said he released them out to the public, so that's one note. Maybe that could be fighting for his defense or something. He's still obviously going to get 5 years because you're stealing government documents and releasing them. And he said he stole thousands of people's tax returns. But just as a broader message of this is how the rich are playing the game. You know, like you're not playing the game. I'm gonna show you how everybody else is playing the game. So it's kind of like throwing the mask off, revealing kind of like what Snowden too as well, like where he's gone because he revealed that, you know, oh, everybody's being tracked or whatever, which everybody already knows now because of him. I would say in help of him, of Snowden and the books he's released, then that's what happened. But now he's obviously wanted by the government. So in Russia, that's crazy. But this guy, you know, get 5 years in prison, but then you're trying to help out. So your words say, but obviously it's still illegal. But you know, the big boys don't want you to do that. So that's what happens. So tell me what you think in the comments. Is he helping everybody? Everybody knows that that the rich people are playing the game, but they don't know exactly like what are they using or how are they hiding their assets, how are they hiding their income, how are these things not tax deductible when you would assume that they would be paying taxes on them. And he was just giving out the playbook. You know, he's the opposing coach and he's giving out the playbook to these the rich people playing the game that how they're supposed to be doing. So he's just trying to share that knowledge. As I said, that Trump hasn't disclosed his taxes and then place his assets in a trust, right? But businessman doing business things, that's just how it is. He's like, nah, I'm not gonna share you don't need to know what I'm doing. Like you just work better on yourself. Like when he was saying with Hillary in 2016, He was like, yeah, I'm playing the same game as your donors. So like, it's all equal, it's equal playing field. So I don't know. It's a hate the player, don't hate the player, hate the game in that circumstance. But I would just say it's interesting.
Just inside what happened in the courtroom today.
Yeah, that's right, Sinclair. Judge Anna Reyes called Little John's crime the biggest heist in IRS history and said he deserved the maximum sentence she could impose, in part because he targeted a sitting president and thousands of others. The judge compared Little John to January 6th rioters, saying
it's like every time they say Little John, I'm thinking like Little John, yeah. Little John's over here taking tax returns and then giving them back to the people. Is this guy like a Robin Hood type of deal? Taking from the rich and giving to the poor, taking the rich's playbook and trying to give the rich people's playbook to the poor people. You can't even really utilize it like that though, because you need, the way they're dodging taxes is that you need assets, you need companies, S corps, LLCs, or doing some type of business that you can deduct the income from that, like even your W-2 income, deduct that from your business. So you still need assets in place for you to play the same game either way. Or I mean, you need something in place to be playing the same game. So if you don't have it, then you can't copy the playbook. That's just how it goes. So I would say it boils down to working harder.
Saying that he took the law into his own hands because he was convinced of his own righteousness. She called what he did an attack on our constitutional democracy. Now, the Justice Department said that Little John went to great lengths to cover his...
I don't know. They said he compared him to a January 6th rioter. It's like, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, if you're just talking about infringing on the government, then yeah. What were the January 6th rioters doing? If everybody in their mind thinks they're doing it for the right reasons, and then hence why we have the laws. Like, nah, bro, you're not doing it for the right reasons. But I don't know if that's a fair comparison. Tell me what you think in the comments. I'm always eager to learn and get better myself. So I don't know.
As he queried IRS databases and downloaded that confidential material, though prosecutors did not explain exactly how he was caught. For his part, Little John explained himself by saying that he felt taxpayers deserved to know how easy it was for the wealthy to avoid paying. He said he fully expected to be caught, and he did apologize to the court.
I think so him not selling the documents, him just like releasing the documents, and then I think it would have been less of a sin if he didn't try to cover his tracks. He just straight up went to release the documents and then gave it out to the people and then didn't try to cover him. Like, you know, yeah, I'm just doing it for people. Well, you know what would have been better though? Why didn't he just take the freaking documents or just look at them, learn from it, or like consult somebody, not release the documents, and then write a book or something, and then release the book and like tax secrets or whatever, you know? Why didn't you do that? Or like a blog post, like a really long Reddit post or something, and then everybody like attacks it and validates it or whatnot. Like that would release the information like the same way, but I guess it adds more validity. But I'd rather trade the validity of him releasing the taxes or like him just posting it out than the prison time. So I would like, why didn't you just do all that in secret and just release it like accordingly? Everybody would take your word for it anyways. You would have like great framing if it was just ex-IRS agent talks about how to beat the tax system or something like that. Wouldn't that be better? Or is that is definitely better than going to prison, I would say. That is drastically better, because then you don't even have to worry about dropping the soap. It's all taken care of for you. Like, man, I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments. Is this guy, he says he was doing it for the right reasons. What do you think? It's a presidential, the season's now, the voting season's coming up, right? The election year is coming up. So this stuff's pretty big. Kind of forced Trump's hands with the release of tax returns, shows Jeff Bezos' stuff, and he leaked everybody else's returns. So dang, it's hardcore. Tell me what you think with this story. It's a definitely interesting one. Lil Jon, man, why are you releasing people's stuff? Lil Jon? Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.